what it takes to keep Fairchild air refueling tankers flying, next on Comcast Newsmakers. Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Mumm. Great to have you along this hour. We're out on Fairchild Air Force Base. Primary mission here is air refueling. I have the Colonel Wood is my guest this hour. First of all, hello. You are head of the 92nd Maintenance Group. You're the commander. So you're the guy that's responsible for keeping all these enormous aircraft performing flawlessly. That's a lot of responsibility.
Thank you.
So
it's a great job.
Tell me how many aircraft that you're responsible for out here with your maintenance group.
We generally have 30 aircraft stationed here at Fairchild, but we're always deployed somewhere in the world, either supporting operations Enduring Freedom out in Kyrgyzstan or other places throughout the world, supporting fighter drags, as we call them. If fighters need to go to Hawaii, they need to go to Japan, they need us to get there. We are the legs, so to speak, to get them there. So we're constantly traveling.
And this is an enormous aircraft. You told me carries something like approximately 30,000 gallons of fuel. How many people does it take to keep a fleet of 30 in great shape?
The maintenance group that I command has about 900 people in it. Most of those are active duty airmen, about 50 civilians. And we're also totally integrated with the 141st Air National Guard here at Washington. Again, they're not part of my maintenance group. However, we are co-located in the shops, work together on the flight line, and it's a great relationship.
I don't think it was a KC-135, but we just had something take off behind us. And we're actually in the passenger terminal here at base operations.
Yes,
okay. So interesting thing about aircraft maintenance, you've got some rather enormous hangars out here, but you're telling me this is kind of an outside job to take care of these aircraft.
Right, one of my favorite places is Building 2050. Our big hangar holds 4 aircraft. It was built in 1942, a World War II facility. So I always like to say we have a 70-year-old facility, a 50-year-old airplane, and 20-year-old airmen taking care of it. But a lot of the work, the majority of the work, happens outside in the elements.
Okay, and you've got, I'm sure, service people from all over the country that may enjoy the climate or not.
Oh, they do. I was out one day and we were doing an aircraft generation, typical snowy February day in Spokane, and young airmen just smiling ear to ear, and said, "What are you smiling about?" with sideways blowing snow. Said, "Sir, I'm from Louisiana. It's the first snow I've ever seen in my life." And that's really energizing and recharging. Okay,
that's a moment. You know, you mentioned World War II. KC-135 has been around for a long time. How old is that aircraft, and does that present some challenges in keeping it running well?
Our aircraft age averages about 50 years old. We have some that are 59. I think the newest one was built in 1963. But yes, it is an older aircraft. Parts are getting a little harder to sustain, to acquire. But we have a lot of great supply chain managers that make that happen, and some very innovative people that can fabricate parts even here locally when we need to.
You know, I think a lot of people think of mid-air refueling, they're thinking about military support operations, and that's certainly a big chunk of it. But this group out of Fairchild also supports humanitarian missions as well. Give us a little info.
Absolutely. If a C-17 or a C-5, a large cargo aircraft, needs to go somewhere, we will be the legs to get that, whatever it is carrying, whether it's not all about bombs and bullets and fighter aircraft. Just like you said, Steve, it's about getting humanitarian supplies somewhere. During the floods in Pakistan a couple years ago, to get about 1.5 million humanitarian meals there, like sea rations or MREs for civilians, we are the legs that get those aircraft there. We helped out with Superstorm Sandy in a support role, getting like Bonneville Power out to the East Coast to help get the lights back on in New York and New Jersey.
Fascinating. Did not know that. Well, we're just about out of time, but I want to thank you so much for having us here out at the base. Thank you for the job that you do.
Appreciate it.
Wish you well. Okay, you're watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Mumm. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you again next hour. Stay tuned. Headlines top and bottom of the hour.